Right now, though, we are being joined by Dusty Evely, fan guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. You can find him on social media at Dusty Evely, acmepackingcompany.com, Pack-A-Day Podcasts, a little bit of everywhere. Dusty, I missed you. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's nice sitting here talking about like football things that happened, that just happened. It's very exciting.
It would have been nicer if there were better football things that happened that we would have got to talk about. But yes,
Yeah,
it is still fun to be talking about football stuff
beggars can't
nonetheless.
be choosers, Andy. We take
That
what
is
we can
very
get.
that is very true. Let's start there. Before I know you dove into the tape, I really want to get into your Jordan Love drop back film breakdown on this as well, and some of the other film review that you did. But film aside, just overarching gut feel, nauseousness. Like what? Like how? As you're watching that game, what was the kind of feel that you had?
I mean, not great, but years ago, I got rid of anything that cared about preseason football. Like as far as like
Well done.
outcome, how it looked on first look. My 7-year-old son could not sleep, and so I watched with him, and so like that was cool. And yeah, when he was like, why aren't the Packers scoring more points? Like, it's just sit over there for a little bit, buddy. Stop asking stupid questions. So, I mean, at first blush, not great. Anytime you get beat that bad, even in the preseason, there's a bit of all right, man. The starters were out there for the starters offense for 2 series, defense for 1 series. Maybe that's not great, but even like watching live the defense, I was like, they've got like one call, like they were rolling a safety, they're vacating the middle on purpose. I know they had some drop coverage and stuff, so like even watching it live was like, this isn't great, but it's probably not that bad. And you get into it, and you're watching individual players and all that, and like it's never as bad or as good as it initially looked. And so when I was watching it, like did I feel great about staying up late to watch a game that was 30-10? Like, I don't know, not really, but like this is my sickness, right? Like it doesn't matter that much, I guess. So overall, I guess first impression, not great, but like not as bad once I started getting in a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's go with the big film breakdown first, and that was on Jordan Love's dropbacks. You can find it, I think I read on acmepackingcompany.com, right, Dusty? Just want to make sure that's where
Right
it's
now,
posted.
I did a video on YouTube, but I'm writing something
Got it.
up for Acme that should be up hopefully later today or tomorrow.
Beautiful. So check out Dusty's YouTube channel to find it all there. But you did a great breakdown of Jordan Love's dropbacks. I don't want you to give away everything, but what were some of your big takeaways from that?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. I mean, he had the Musgrave miss that I think was just it was. I don't know about bad process. I think the read was good. I think he tried to buy, which was an issue last year. So he'll try to buy a little more time than he needed to, and then was late on the throw. And I mean, the throw is high, throw is not good. I think the bigger issue was like the timing of that was bad. Everything else, I thought the process and timing of was good. He had one. I think it was the backside that slant to Dobbs that I think the one that glanced off his hands. I don't think it was the PI one. That was it's a 3-step concept each side. He sets, he's getting ready to throw to the left, and this is one like it's almost we saw him almost. I guess it's not the exact same. There's a linebacker kind of fading underneath that from the middle that kind of disguises that well initially. That if he throws that, it's probably picked. He doesn't even look like he's looking at the linebacker, but he sees the linebacker, moves off of it, easily transitions backside, throws a really nice throw that just it was just blanketed. That was the one Sauce knocked away. It was good
But
coverage. It
yeah,
was a really good throw. So process wise, footwork wise, all that stuff, I thought it looked really, really good. I mean, I said it and I'll say it again. I mean, that's not stuff they ran. I think 7 dropbacks. I think they had 5 of those were like just 3-step mirrored concepts. Essentially, they don't run that much in the game. Like that was stuff
no,
like Rodgers loved that stuff, and so they ran a lot of that stuff. And they will run quick game with Love. They're not going to run it that much. They will run like straight 3-step each side maybe 4 times in a game. They're not running it 5 times in 7 plays. So it was very much a let's get the ball out of his hands. Let's get this over with quick. He can get these reads out. You can get this done. I mean, that was their big takeaways. As far as quick game stuff, he was good. Reads were good. Eyes were good. Feet were good. He had the one he was laying on a Musgrave, but like overall, I watched that like, yeah, that was good. The drops stunk, man. Like even the Heath one, like he worked back to that and then put that in a great position to like not, I was gonna say lead Heath upfield, like not like where he's like standing still and then he has to run for it. He put that on outside shoulder up the field,
yep,
so when he catches that, he can go up and get the first down. Like the placement on all of his stuff, I thought was really, really good. It was just yeah, the one bad one, that was again good read, bad timing, and then everything else was just drops or good defense. I mean, Sauce was on Dobbs. You hope is going to be what at most wide receiver 2, and you got Sauce blanketing him. Like he's probably not going to be in that matchup too much. So I mean that happens sometimes.
Well, to your point, even on that play, I think it was Golden on the opposite side that he wanted on the slant, another slant, again, just to show how basic this offense was on the day. But I think it was Golden he wanted on the slant. Yep. And to your point, that linebacker screamed over. Yep. Like he looked left, and that linebacker, because I'm sure the Jets knew too, we're getting the ball out of Jordan's hands. Like we're not going to do anything deep, like major, big concepts here. Yep. So he looks left, and that linebacker screams into that window. And like you said, if he throws it, it's probably pick six.
Yeah.
And then so he comes off of that, goes to the other side. And also, again, I'm sure Jordan's clock here is like, I'm just getting the ball out of my hand. I'm not going to go and sit in the pocket and buy time. So that first read's not there. He's getting to that next read and just ripping it. Like probably didn't even matter at that point. And then Sauce is just blanketing Romeo Dobbs. So yeah, there's not much you can kind of do in that specific scenario. And it was interesting too, the Musgrave one. I heard a lot of people say, and I'm on the same page as you on this one. I heard a lot of people say that Musgrave kind of stopped on the route and should have just ran through it. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was a little bit late, a little bit high, and I thought Musgrave kind of did his best to make a leaping attempt at it at the end. And even if he continues, there's two safeties. I think his safety's kind of converging on it. I read it the same way you did.
Yeah. I mean, and that was just, it was like 3 verts. They're setting like 2 up and then Musgrave up the seam, and those 2 safeties bail hard. And so that was immediately, Love was like, okay, I got this. And Tom loses immediately. But that's an issue we've had with Love in the past as well, where like if Love steps up into that and throws that, he's got that. But instead there's like this, I don't think he like traffic around his feet. Again, maybe it was just drilled into him in the preseason. Don't get hit. And instead of just ripping, he sidestepped, but knows he still has that read. I've made this throw before, but by that point, the safety just converged. So yeah, again, just that one I put fully on Love. Again, good read. It's just he was a tick late because that sidestep.
Being joined by Dusty Evely, AcmePackingCompany.com, Pack a Day Podcast. Also check him out over on his YouTube channel. Just at Dusty Evely on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds. I should know that. That sounds
beautiful. Beautiful. This is how much research I came in Acme Packing Company. I should have double checked that. So my apologies on that. As you're going through the film review, you mentioned that Zach Tom play. PFF and I are usually pretty in, like, it's not always like verbatim on grades, but there's usually like, some similar, if it's not, it rhymes, if nothing else. Right. And, Zach Tom, I thought had a tough one in this one. They had like an 80+ grade on him in this game. He got beat immediately on that one. We don't need to even dive into it, but that was one where I'm like, we did not see the same Zach Tom performance at all. I had a pretty decent negative grade on him. Like one of the weirder Zach Tom performances I think I've ever seen out of him. And it's preseason, it doesn't matter. I've become 1,000,000,000% faith in Zach Tom moving forward, but that was just kind of an interesting one as a quick aside. All right, you obviously watched all the film, not just Jordan Love, but a little bit of everything, because you and I and Justice and all of us are just weird sicko individuals. But what did some of the other takeaways that you got from that game?
Yeah, I mean, the first guys I went to, like I said, like I looked at, first thing I looked at was Love, and then after that is the individual players. And I have not gone through all of them yet, but I went through the full tape, and then I hone in, okay, who are the guys I'm interested in? Because a lot of those guys are like 20 snaps. I think I hit someone last night, I can't remember who it was like 49, but a lot of those were special team snaps. My first 2 were Morgan and Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton, because I'm curious about those guys. Morgan, I really hope wins the left tackle spot. Belton, I've always seen more as a guard, but obviously he was at tackle. And I thought they played well. I mean, I will say that, again, like I've mentioned Love with the 3-step drop stuff. They didn't ask those guys to do, like in the run game, what they're going to be asked to do. Like I think there was no pulling. Both those guys can move, and they're going to pull those guys as part of the power run game. I think the closest we got to someone pulling was Jordan Morgan had one where it's less a pull and more like a fan out, where it's kind of like an underneath like hinge release and then get to the sideline. And then he had no idea what he was doing at that point. There was a guy out there to block, and he kept running, and then you could see him look back like, oh, I think I was supposed to get that guy. But like, there was no pulling under the line. There was very like, even that one, like they'll do that stuff like a crack toss. I think they're cracking anyone. They literally just fanning. Like I don't think they pulled a single guy all night. And so it was pretty basic for what they're asked to do. But I mean, Morgan, one of my concerns, family night, and I'm not alone on that. I thought the feet were good. Really liked his feet. Dude got run through his chest like way too often. And I thought his anchor, a secondary anchor in this, I think looked way better than it did in family. Now, obviously you're at practice. You've seen him more. The family night was really my first look at him this year. I was like, oh no, because listen, as a horror movie lover myself, that man has a full horror leg sleeve. Like, I got a lot of rooting interest in Jordan Morgan being good. And he was not at family night. I thought he looked much better here. Again, not like a couple of little weird moments, but I thought for the most part, I think if your feet are in the right place, and I know you're strong, eventually, hopefully, they can teach you how to anchor and be good at that. That's secondary foot stuff, and we know he's strong. So I think that showed up in the preseason. That was encouraging. Belton, again, they didn't ask him to do much. I still think his feet are a little clunky at tackle. Like, to me, ultimately, I know we've been practicing. I don't know if they want to shift him into guard this year or not, but I think he was good for what he was asked to do. I just think when you look at him against like other NFL or like semi NFL talent backup guys, I think the feet just looked a little slow, and we didn't see him pulling. We'll see what happens. Once the game started, once all this stuff's going, I think they want him to stick at tackle. Obviously, if he fails there, he fails there. He moved to guard. That's cool. But I think he looked better than I thought he was going to at the gate. And then, Sorrell. I really like Baron Sorrell. I mean, a lot of that stuff was like I had concerns about him coming out in terms of like holding up against the run game. He had some good reps. He had some other reps where he just looked too small. And then, I mean, it's pass rush stuff, dude. I was excited about Colin Oliver as pass rush. Sorrell, variety of moves, like good hands, strong guy. They basically had him straight up hand in the dirt D end. I think he was in a 2-point stance once. And I think that was because he was shifting before the snap and they caught him when he was shifting. Everything else was 3 and 4, like hand in the dirt guy.
Okay.
Hey, strong hands, like good counter moves. His pass rush stuff, even if he's just situational pass rusher year one, I'm excited about Baron Sorrell. I mean, I got other dudes too, but I've been talking for a little bit, Andy. I don't want to take all your time here, but those were like the three guys that off the bat, I was like, those guys are cool. I like those guys. So yeah, I think some other takeaways. Those are my big ones that I was like, oh, okay, you got something here. I think there's something here.
People get way too much of me already. When you are on, please take all of the time, space, energy, and oxygen as you want. It is a welcome reprieve for everyone on here. I guarantee you that. We're talking again to Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company, Pack a Day Podcast. Find him on social media at Dusty Evely. I think the interesting thing with Belton is I think they are taking a different approach than what they did with Morgan, where it felt like Morgan last year. They're like, we're going to play you everywhere. And his head was just swimming and it never. So I think they're trying to just build a base with Anthony Belton and not throw the kitchen sink at him and be like, hey, you're 4 positions. And I think, whether that sticks or not, or whether he ends up at guard remains to be seen. I just like that there's somebody with a little bit more power that, behind him. And that can actually, I saw you post as well. I actually had it on my list of things to do if I got to it, to post the Kadeem Telfort just toss of the dude on the ground. And I saw you beat me to that one. So that was a really fun play in the game as well. But lots of really fun ones. And as I talked about yesterday with Jacob Morley, if you actually went out and could handpick some of the players that you could actually watch to play well in this game, Jordan Morgan, Anthony Belton, Baron Sorrell, Matthew Golden, like those would have been the ones that you kind of picked. And they actually did play for the most part well in this game, to your point with what they were asked to do. Really quick on Jordan Morgan, the thing that you mentioned there that I actually really liked is a lot of times when you have, which I kind of almost still consider him like a rookie because it felt like last year was such a redshirt year. But you ask those young players, or when you see like those mistakes happen in 1 week, and then you ask them to make the adjustments in the next week, it doesn't always work that way. The fact that it felt like there were real legitimate adjustments and like he picked up on like, okay, that's what I did wrong. I can't make that mistake again. And then fixed that. Like I was actually very encouraged by that. And I thought he had a nice day at practice yesterday as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it like that, but that is, because everything else looked clean. It was just that anchor, it was a little uncertain in the steps and the set sometimes. So if that's what he can do, a lot of that was LVN, and LVN just wants to run through your chest. But he had guys try to do that against the Jets too, and I thought he was good. So that's a good point about maybe a little coaching point that he took to heart. That'd be nice if that's all it was, man. That'd be awesome.
Very much so. All right, a couple quick things before we get you out of here. We got a first glimpse, on the actual football field, not just practice, of Matthew Golden on kind of a slightly bigger stage. What was your impression of Golden, and what do you think he can bring to this offense this upcoming season?
Man, he's cool. Matthew Golden's cool. I mean, that's good route runner. Every route was sold, man. Like if you're trying to sell vertical, he's selling everything vertical. He's sudden and smooth out of the breaks. Obviously the hands on that one when no one else could catch. I mean, dude, it looks so natural. I mean, and you mentioned the one from practice yesterday where he goes down and gets it. I mean, I feel insane because I'm like, this one slant catch he had was incredible. But there's a smoothness to it. It's that out of the break, he kind of sells it, the little stutter, he goes inside, hands catch and gets upfield immediately. There's such a, again, smoothness, explosion out of that as well, but just the way he plucks the ball is just, it's so easy. And then one of the big things I'd like to see run blocking, because why not? He's first round pick.
Yep.
I think he had two. He had one against Sauce that was like very typical, like DB wide receiver hand fighting. But like, my whole thing with wide receivers is, especially down the field, do you know where to be and are you willing to do it? And he did, and that's good. I enjoyed that. The other one that I saw live, and I was like, they're asking him to do this already. They had him in his insert blocker. It was just like, so under the line between the tight end and the tackle on a zone run to his side. That stuff, like Wicks and Watson do that stuff. And like, it wasn't lockdown. Like, he hits the guy, but he meets the guy in the hole. He turns him. I think the guy ends up making a tackle. I think it's a 1 yard gain, something like that. But that's something that, like, for a first round undersized pick, my whole thing all offseason has been, if they have Reed and Golden on the field at the same time, I don't know if they can run their offense the way they have shown that they want to run their offense. That condensed split, all the run heavy stuff, because you got two guys who are a little undersized. Like, how are they going to do with the blocking stuff? Again, I don't know if they're going to ask Golden to do that 1,000 times. That may have just been, you're in here for 7 reps. Let's get you one like this. The fact that he was in there and did it and didn't make a fool of himself, and actually, like, he didn't get shoved back. He didn't end up on the ground. Like, that was a perfectly good rep from him. That was encouraging to me from that thing. That was like, I think that was my most, like, the catch was cool. Watching him go insert and not make a fool of himself, like, all right, man, okay, we're cooking here. But yeah, no, he was, as advertised. I'm one preseason game, 7 reps. I'm ready. Just fit him for the Hall of Fame jacket, brother. Like, it was a lot of fun.
No, I don't know if I can get quite to that level. Yeah, I know you're obviously, but no, I loved him as well. And I asked Matt LaFleur about that. Just if you could play Reed and Golden on, the offense at the same time. And, he was obviously very, saying that, yes, absolutely. And we'll see if that actually happens in practice. I think it will. But he was very much saying that they could get that they're both scrappy enough to get out there as blockers as well. So I think we will see a decent amount of that this upcoming season, assuming they can actually get these wide receivers healthy moving forward, which would be a nice step in that direction. We're right now live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios. We are right now joined by Dusty Evely on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. All right. I have one last film question for you, and it has nothing to do about football. You mentioned, and as I know, you are a big horror guy. This is a little bit of a, I've heard a decent year already. We've got Sinners, we've got Weapons. All right. So Dusty, if I'm only going to see one, because that's probably what's going to happen. What is your recommendation for what I go out and watch this upcoming summer?
Oh man, I've not seen Weapons yet. So Weapons is the people who did Barbarian, and Barbarian blew me away. So I'm trying to stay away from spoilers. I'm gonna say, just because I've seen it, Sinners is incredible, dude. Like, it's almost less horror. The back half it's period drama. Cast is incredible. Kugler does amazing work. The setting's amazing. There's some scenes that'll blow your mind, and the vampire stuff is fun. So I may change my mind after I see Weapons. For now, yeah, dude, Sinners is nuts.
I'm sorry, Dave Portnoy did not like Sinners, so that is the incorrect answer.
Oh, no.
I know. All right, Dusty, I cannot thank you enough. Tell all the incredible people where we can find all of your incredible work.
Yeah, on socials at Dusty Evely, and then Acting Packing Company for writing. I got something up now on the Amar Johnson touchdown run. I'll have written up on Jordan Love's dropbacks, and then probably some stuff on Sorrell, and just kind of emptying the notebook stuff before his second preseason game in the next couple of days. And just, I grab a lot of clips. I know you do as well, Andy. I need to drop them somewhere. So I'm going to drop them in an article at some point in the next couple of days. And then pack a day tomorrow with Sarah and Steve.
Awesome. Cannot wait for that either. And as soon as you get anything film related out, I think I probably am your number one watcher as soon as that comes out. So if you are not checking that out, you are doing yourself a huge disservice as a Packers fan, because it is not only educational, it is fun, and it really just gets you in that sicko behavior of being a real football and Packers fanatic, which is what we're trying to cultivate here on the Pack a Day Radio Show. Dusty, cannot thank you enough. We'll do this again, hopefully a billion times throughout the course of the season. Appreciate you, and we'll talk again very soon.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Andy.
You bet. Thanks again to Dusty Evely for joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Make sure to follow him on social media at Dusty Evely. This is the Pack a Day Radio Show. We'll be right back with more right after this.